Hi everyone, I want to take a few moments here to talk about the most recent press conference here in Illinois. If you didn't see it, the governor just announced that they're basically entering a state of trying to stopping like non-essential services or the stay-at-home orders, called a bunch of different things generally. But ultimately, the goal here is to limit how much and how often people are in the community is what it really means. And what's the good news here is that chiropractic is essential services in Illinois. So we have been open and we're going to stay open to meet your needs. One of the things I wanted to kind of talk about here, including that which is mentioned in the governor mentioned, and what the governor's office has written in some different posts, is that this order doesn't mean you can't leave your home. Because you can still leave your home to go to the grocery store, go to the pharmacy, go to your healthcare provider, like going to your chiropractor. You can go to the veterinarian, clinic. I mean, there's still things you can do out of the home. Going outside of the home isn't unsafe at this time. It has to do with the community involvement, community connections that you make. So that's why you wanted to limit your exposure in areas where you can't that are uncontrolled for in a way. So that's what so if you look at some of our posts about what we're doing in the office, that's what we're trying to do here. Is that we're controlling our environment to make sure that it's very unlikely you're going to be exposed to anything here. We're spreading out our schedule. We're limiting our office to about one patient in about every 15 minutes. There might be an overlap between one or two people, one with somebody coming in while somebody's going, of course, but we're really limiting that down. That's something that nobody's asked of us to do. We're doing it just kind of out of an abundance of caution for your health and for your safety. We're disinfecting everything between patients. All of our surfaces are getting cleaned multiple times a day. So we're taking extra steps, extra precaution for you in order to help maintain a controlled environment to reduce any kind of likelihood that there's anything that you'll get exposed to in our office. Because we want to get exposed to it either. And along those lines too, if you are feeling ill, we want you to call ahead first. If you saw the last video, I said this, and I'll stress it again. I want you to call ahead first so we can kind of figure out what to do. Whether it's to reschedule your appointment, whether it's to see you, but really kind of focus on when that might be. There's some things that we're going to have as part of a discussion before that. But like I said, the good news is that we're open and chiropractic is an essential service in Illinois. And it's even more essential now than ever if you really think about it. You don't necessarily want to find yourself needing health care or needing care for your spine or musculoskeletal complaints in general and having to go to urgent care, immediate care, or even the ER right now. I mean, if they're not taxed, with other issues, where you're going to get sick at or get exposed to that might be there. They're controlling what they're doing, what they can control their environment pretty good too. And they want you to call ahead too before you go there if you're feeling ill, if you think you might have this virus. But you definitely don't want to tax their system if it's something that we can help you with. And so along those lines too, we're here to help you. If you haven't been in our office a long time, we're here to help you again. If you've got a family or friends or loved ones that you might want to have come in and get checked out, we can see them too. And so, because we're open to new patients as well. We were this week, we've been mulling about what we're going to do in terms of new patients. And so we were identifying times in our schedule, which makes sense to lock those times down for only one patient, in that space, in that time. So again, we're open and we're seeing our current patients, we're seeing new patients. Call us if you have questions. We would love to handle them and love to talk through what the right approach for you and your health is, because there's a lot of things to consider at this time, and it's important you do so. But like I say, chiropractic is essential for a number of reasons. One of them, you really think about it, you want to remove from the equation things that might have a negative effect on your immune health, your immune function. And one of those could be a loss of sleep due to aches and pains or to just kind of acute pain in general. So being able to come in to see somebody like us to help take care of that can be really important, because the byproduct could mean better sleep and then better health in the end. There's a lot of things you can think about in terms of why it's essential for us to stay open, and the other things too. But we're open and we're here to serve you. The other thing I wanted to discuss briefly is some of these symptoms of coronavirus. If you haven't seen that, some of the significant symptoms that are known, that are most common, things like a high fever, a dry cough. Some cases there've been acute respiratory distress, almost like an asthma attack kind of sensation. I actually read a paper just before filming this, or just before turning this camera on, that there's about 50% of the cases there's some digestive disorder, but that's like a more really crazy research. That's what's really kind of interesting is how fast papers are being published and pushed out there on this topic. I've talked about some things earlier, and because like one of the big or on my Facebook post a couple days ago on the highest at-risk population. And what that means, and that's really who we're protecting by doing this order now, like the governor's doing in Illinois, is that 80% of cases more than likely are going to either have mild symptoms or no symptoms whatsoever. It's the 20% that have the more serious symptoms that we're trying to. It's slow how fast people might get that in that high risk group, immunocompromised group. People with pre-existing conditions like cardiovascular disease, respiratory diseases, kidney diseases. There's a high risk group out there we're trying to protect by doing stuff like this. But it doesn't mean, again, like you can't leave your house. It just means you have to be smart about where you're going and when you're going there. And that's what we're trying to do here is help you do that by making our environment controlled enough so that it's a safe place for you to come to continue to seek care. And so like I say, chiropractic's essential. We're open. We're going to be staying open. The shelter in place or staying home does not mean you don't have to leave the house. It just means that you have to be careful, but just be cautious about where you're going to and why and when. But you can still get groceries. You can still go to get food. You can go to get your pharmacy. You still get gas for your car. And so ultimately, we want you to be safe and be healthy during this time. I want to be here for you. The last thing is too, one of the things is telemedicine. It's something that we're considering. We're not set to do it yet, but it's something that we're considering doing for people that want to get, that aren't leaving the home, or maybe they're in those high risk groups and they still want at least some exercise, some counseling to do at home on their own. We'll be looking into how we can address that here in the office and do some telemedicine, at least for some home exercise counseling, things like that. Going forward here, because it's going to last, I guess the shelter in place thing is for about 2 weeks or through the first-ish week in April. I kind of forget exactly what he said on the end date, but it's into April is when it ends. But we want everybody through this time. It's a tough time, it really is. And it's a little bit difficult time for a lot of people, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. And if we can help you with that in any way, we're here to do that. So thanks for watching. This is a little bit long, but thanks for watching this, and give us a call if you have any questions. We're here to help you. Thanks.